70 decapitated bodies were discovered in a Protestant church in DR of Congo, with sources suspecting the Islamist militant group Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, an affiliate of the Islamic State, ISIS, Open Doors, an organization that supports prosecuted Christians, reported that the victims had been taken hostage before being tied up and decapitated with knives on February 12. Military Administrator Alain Kiwaba confirmed an ongoing investigation, while the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the DRC has not yet confirmed the attack sparked international outrage, with Hungarian officials Tristan Azbej, State Secretary 48 of prosecuted Christians, stating, horrified to learn about the 70 Christian martyrs beheaded by terrorists in a church in Kasanga, DRC. Hungary stands in solidarity with the persecuted Christians. Vinny.
Well, first of all, since, God rest all of their souls too, could you imagine they went to their houses, dragged them all outside, marched all 70 of them while they were beating them. On the way, they put them in a church, killed every single one of them, beheaded them, and that was the end of it, okay? And it's not just violence, okay? And there's not a war. This is just an extermination of Christians in the Congo, and nobody, think about it. We're talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. It's not headline news. We had to search and look for this story. It's not breaking. There's no presidential address. There's no global outrage, just silence. Why? Because Christians aren't a protected class in the eyes of the media and the global elite. Think about that. 70 people marched, brought into a church, and freaking murdered. If it was any other religious group, if this was an LGBTQ activist in a different faith community, headlines would be screaming that it was a genocide. But that 70 Christians beheaded in a church, nothing to see here, Adam. You don't mean you do that. But the ADF have been terrorizing Christians, guys, in the Congo for years. Humberto has been talking to me this since he's gotten to Valuetainment, and nothing. They burn villages, they butcher entire communities, and yet the world does absolutely nothing. And the UN is a joke, okay? Western governments, joke. Nobody does anything. And the same people who virtue signal human rights, every chance they get nowhere to be found when Christians are being wiped out. It's so freaking weird to me. And meanwhile, we're sending all these billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine, and Christians are being literally massacred in church, and nobody, no action, nobody. And this is what real war of faith looks like. And the silence, that's proof of it right there. What do you think, Tommy?
Adam. Well, this is, when I saw this headline, I was like, you can't just gloss over these headlines. Like, the next story was economists are starting to worry about Trump's recession. The previous story was about Zelensky. 70 Christians beheaded?
With kids, Adam, yep.
In church, what we know? Vinny, who do you think did this?
Bad guys.
But do we have any idea
ISIS
of who
tied,
did it?
Congo.
Hold on, what? They know who did it?
Yeah, of course they do.
What do you mean? Who did it?
Did you not read the story?
No, tell me who did it.
ISIS-backed, I'll read it for you right now.
Yeah.
ISIS-backed terrorist group stormed the village, and they ripped women.
Oh, here it is right here. In the Republic of Congo, suspect that Islamic militant jihadist terrorist group, an affiliate of ISIS. Oh, okay. Because I don't know about you, when I hear beheadings, there's only one group I think of. And it's not Jews, it's not Catholics, it's not Protestants, it's not Hindus, it's not Buddhists. It's Islamic jihadism. Are we just gonna beheadings, guys? What are we talking about? By the way, this is horrible, Christians. But I'd have just as much outrage if it was Buddhists, Hindus, Druze, Christians, Catholics. We're beheading people, guys.
Yeah, but you didn't. But
what kind of barbaric behavior is this?
Why have? Well, here's my point is, Adam. Why isn't this headline big time news? If it was Jews, Adam, it would be on the headline of. If it was anybody else, it'd be the headline news. Why is it when it's Christians? I get the point that you're making. Why is it when it's Christians, children march to a church and dude?
Let me show you something, Vinny.
That drives me
Rob, I think I sent you an image.
That gets me crazy.
Here's the problem. I say the thing all the time, no Jews, no news, but it's also no...
well, it's Christians.
Okay. Do you know that these conflicts are going on? Everyone you hear about Gaza, what's going on in Gaza, oh my God, Gaza, oh my God, Gaza. Okay. Then you hear a little bit about Russia, what about Ukraine? Guys, those wars pale in comparison to what's going on in some of these countries. Do you know what's going on in Sudan? You see what's going on here in the Congo? You see what's going on in Yemen, the civil war there? They don't talk about it. In Haiti, in the Western Hemisphere, right here, there was a guy basically eating humans, burning them. So the world is crazy, but the news likes to pick the stories that get the views.
Yeah, but guess what? We have the resources to take out fucking terrorists, okay? With freaking...
Vinny,
these people
let me ask you a
need help.
question. Let me ask you a
They need help,
question.
and they're not getting anything.
You go on Piers Morgan how often?
Maybe twice a month.
Okay, so you're there, and you've done how many shows? At least a dozen.
At least a dozen.
Okay. How many times have you guys discussed Israel, Gaza, Palestine?
A lot. Well, when it's hot in the news
How many-
all the time.
okay.
Well, yeah, especially in that
How many
time with
times?
October 7th and stuff, a
Okay,
lot.
a lot. How much, guys, have you talked about Russia, Ukraine?
A lot.
How much have you talked about Sudan and the Congo?
Barely ever.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not my
Because,
show.
well, that's my point.
Well, yeah.
Is because you're Piers Morgan. I'm not calling out Piers Morgan. He's a very, very needed guy in the news, uncensored. But why doesn't he talk about it? Why don't other
Well, that's my question
people
to
talk
you: is
about it?
why is the
Because
Christian
some things
faith
are
not
just-
protected? Nobody
It's
gives
not
a shit
even just
about
about
us.
Christians. It's about what's going on in Africa.
Yeah, well,
Because
Guess what?
the people are getting beheaded,
Yeah.
and they're like, just another Tuesday.
yeah.
And
Well, guess what?
nobody calls out basically the
Well-
source of what this problem is, and it's extremism. It's extremism.
Yep.
It just happens to be Islamic extremism in this case. If Christians were going around chopping people's heads off, I'd be calling them out too.
Of course. I know you would.
So-
I'm just saying this is ridiculous. We're the most non-protected class. Tom?
You're exactly right. If it was
Anybody.
LGBTQIQ asterisk
Yeah.
exclamation point, it'd be headline news. The Babylon Bee or whatever it was ran a parody that took a lot of heat where they said, ISIS kicks off Gay Pride Month with reception at the top of very tall building.
Yes.
And they took, and everybody knows that Babylon Bee is parody. Everybody knows that, but they took so much heat for that. You know why? Because it was a little too close to absolute truth.
Yes, I agree.
But you need to understand, there's one faith out there, one, where it's to love everyone and to be patient and to bring them the message of your Savior until they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to serve them to show that that's the attitude of your Savior, is service and love and benevolence. And that is Christianity. Instead, you have, and people are going to say, oh, no, wait. So easy on the comments. I know what some of you are about to say, but I will say this. Before you go back to the Middle Ages, that wasn't Christianity. That was governments like Spain and Torquemada and the Tower of London. That was governments and the monarchies and the inbred kings and queens of Europe in the name of Christianity, attempting to control the populace with a religion and morphing it all and being completely bastardized. And you want to know what the result of that? The United States of America. Because the pilgrims, they were basically political refugees.
Yeah.
Right? And so they came here. And so the United States came here as a source of Christian persecution and people that wanted to leave. There were also non-Christians that just wanted to leave, what was the kings and queens.
Who was persecuting the Puritans and the Pilgrims and everything in Europe, and why they decided to come here? What was that story?
Well, the Tower of London, if you didn't get with the Anglican Church in the way of that, and remember, what was it, Henry VIII? None of the women would give him a son, and so he kept having the laws changed by the church so he could divorce and get remarried till somebody gave him a son. So you set that aside. So I know people are going to say, well, look what the Christians did in the Middle Ages. No. Those were monarchies with inbred kings and queens, some of them demonstrably insane, that were doing that in the name of a faith. I'm talking about core biblical Christianity today. It's a message of love and forgiveness and salvation and being patient and loving to your enemy and your persecutor in hopes that they will see the light, for that Savior. That's what it's all about.
God bless.
There's one religion that does that. One.
Ours.
And
Yeah, well, they just got
I
beheaded.
just say is all the rest of them have a pretty aggressive view of their, enemies, right? And then Christ says,
Great message.
everyone's your neighbor.
Great message, Tom. We have right now anywhere between 500 to 3,000 resumes that people post on a weekly basis that they want to work here. And after the last year of fully committing to identifying clearly how to describe the culture to new people that get hired, where we can, people can kind of watch it and see it for themselves and say, this is not a company for me to work at. We have 8 or 9 different companies to work at here at Valuetainment Lion Holding. We created a 38-minute video that explains what it is to work here, who Valuetainment is for, who Valuetainment is not for, okay? For the right person, it could be the last job you'll ever have. For the wrong person, there's going to be conflicts on both sides, and we don't want that. We want to be able to find a place that we can work together for a very long time to come. Having said that, this is what we did. We created this, and a lot of our clients at BDC right now are asking for this. So it's the Valuetainment culture, okay? Right here, beginning to the end, explaining everything about us, what it is to work here, how we do our meetings with our management team, how we hold each other accountable, what the culture is like. All of that is in this culture deck that we have. So there's 2 things. One, you can purchase this for $19 on the website right there that Rob is showing, this culture deck. Or anybody that places an order and you buy anything over $100, the first 100 are going to get one of these put in the box, sent to you. Again, this is for those of you that either want to find a way to work here. Maybe you're running a business and you want to find out on how to create your own culture deck when you're hiring people. This will give you ideas. Or you have somebody that you have a son, a daughter, a husband, a father, somebody that loves Valuetainment, loves what we do here, and they want to find a way to bring the value to the company, whether it's our consulting firm, Minnect, any of that stuff, and you want to give this to them. Again, you can buy these for $20 or you can place an order over $100 and we will send this over to you. And for those of you that want to watch the 38-minute video about our culture, you can simply text the word culture to 310-340-1132. Again, text the word culture, C-U-L-T-U-R-E, culture, to 310-340-1132. We will send you a text back with the video for you to watch on the culture of working at Valuetainment. Again, go place the order on these booklets because we have limited supply for sale. The rest we're keeping for the people that we are hiring. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.